Hello guys, this is Bravano again and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, do it now. So today we're gonna make Akara. The pap is getting good, obviously. So first and first I would like to start arranging, organizing my project. Come to the outline now, select the scene collection and click on new collection, and this should create a new collection for you. So I'm going to double click on this text and rename it to plate so that everything related to plate can be dragged inside the plate collection. I'll put the pap because the pap is inside the plate and the spoon also is inside the plate. So we have a separate collection. If I click on this check mark, we can hide everything in our 3D viewport and we can unhide it that way. So this first collection collapses by clicking this tool, so we don't have anything going on in our 3D viewport. I'll launch PRF and load our image, Control L to load. And what I want to do is create one, and then I'll duplicate it to make more variation of it. So we are going to start off by creating Shift A to add a mesh, and I think I'm gonna use UV sphere this time around. The last time I used Aqua sphere, but I didn't really like the result. Okay, because we need a lot of vertices to be able to tweak around, I'm not going to reduce this segment or tweak any of these. So now I'm going to press Alt and then 90, press 90 to rotate this 90-degree in the y-axis. I'm going to press S and X to scale in the x-axis like this, and I can also press S and Z to scale in the z-axis. Okay, so now this is looking like Akara. Let's go into edit mode. You can press tab or come over here, and if you go to edit mode, then go to vertex selection, deselect everything with Alt A or double tap A, and come to select and choose random select. So this is going to select random vertices all over your mesh. So with this random selection and proportional editing turned on, let's see what happens if we press Alt S to kind of scale in their normals, each of those vertices normals. So if I should start moving inward, you can see some effects going on. So I'm gonna confirm these changes and then go back to object mode, and then we can see some randomness. So if I shade this mode, you can see we have something looking like Akara. You can go further and tweak or add some kind of, I'm going to turn off proportional editing, and then I want some spikes kind of, so I can grab these vertices one after the other and then move them at random. Yeah, now I think we have something looking more like Akara. So the shape you want to go for is up to you. You can kind of, however you want to make it. So I'm going to make it even flatter. I go to front view. Okay, can scale in the y-axis a little bit more. So I'll put this guy over here because I actually want to go to the modifier panel and subdivision modifier. Let's see. Okay. Ah, nice. It is nice. You can even go ahead and increase the spikes. If you like, you can even go to the sculpting section and choose snake hook or grab, then grab some area, just a little. I can use the draw tool to kind of like push some area inward. So you can keep going on this. It's up to you how much how much detail you want to have. So I'm just gonna shift D to duplicate, press Y to lock it in the Y axis and move it over here. And also duplicate again, shift D, Y and move it over here. So I can, they're exactly the same shape, so definitely I want to tweak something. So you can even increase the influence of the proportional editing using this mouse wheel, and you have some randomness. So what we're gonna do now is create a collection. You can do this multiple ways. You can press C while hovering over this sync collection to create the collection under this sync collection. If we click on plate, for instance, and we press, if we right click on this and create a new collection, the collection is going to be under plate. You can see plate 1. So I'm just going to undo that. So the same thing, if you press C, you're going to create a new collection, collection 3. So if the plate is selected and I press C, the collection is going to be added here. So I'm going to select same collection and press C, and then and name this Akara, and I can select the first one, shift select the last one, drag everything inside Akara. So we now have all this inside Akara. So if I should watch what happens in the viewport, if I should click this, everything disappears at a time. I can do the same thing for the page. Okay, I'm gonna save my file now. So before we start to add texture to Akara, I think I would like to create the newspaper. I think I'll make a separate video for adding the textures because I don't want my video to be too long. So in this tutorial, the only thing we're gonna do is just create Akara and create the newspaper. So in the next tutorial, we're gonna add texture to them so that we don't have a lengthy, tutorial. I kind of wanna add a plane. Just click and drag down. You can add hit S for and then put the cursor back to the origin. You can see the cursor is right here. If I press Shift and F, cursor toward origin, then Shift A, add a plane and scale this up some, and just gonna scale it in the Y axis, just roughly something looking like a newspaper X. Oh, so now before we can make it, squeeze this paper, we need to kind of like subdivide it. So I'm just going to right click for the context menu, subdivide, come down here and type in 32 times 2, that will be 64. Okay, I'm fine with this. So now what we're gonna do is come to sculpting. Okay, remember what I told you the last time? You can do that right now. I want to use the physics panel because let's learn something new. You can kind of, before you go to the physics panel, come to the object data, this triangle, click on it and create a new vertex group. Okay, this vertex group is called group. Then go to edit mode and select these 4 points and click on assign. So you are assigning a weight of 1 to the selected vertices. So let's deselect this and press select. Okay, so if you press select now, these 4 vertices are selected. So it means this group, vertex group called group, is assigned a weight of 1. Okay, you will see the reason why we are doing this soon. So I'm just gonna hide this for the time being. Ctrl Shift B to hide it. We want to go to the physics properties and then click on clothes. Okay, so now that you add a clothes, physics to this plane, if we play if you play this animation with spacebar or here, this object is going to drop. So you scroll down and find shape, you see pin group, click on it and you see the group that you created here in the object data. If you look at it, if we rename this to pin now, for example, and come back to the physics properties and you come to shape and you can see pin. Okay, so if I play this now, the 4 vertices that we assigned a weight of 1 to are now kind of like sticking in the air. You can see. So with this, I'm just gonna go to the modifier panel and I'll see a cloth modifier and I can apply this right away. So go back to frame 1 and we have this effect kind of. I'll go to the sculpting mode and I'll look for the cloth tool. I'm going to scale this up. Then you can click anywhere on the pen and start, dragging right or left. Start having some squeeze. Okay, so you can press G or K for the snake hook and move each of these parts. Remember to, if we go back to object mode, we can shade this smooth and we can have even a nicely look paper on hide our Akara. Select them, go to front view, G, Z, and make sure it is sitting on the grid. This is the grid. Scale each of this one. Scale each of these guys. Let's go to wireframe so that we can see when they are actually touching the paper. You can go to the side view and view it from the side view. Make sure the origin of this object, each of these objects, is in the center of mass. So to do that, select the object, press right click and set origin to mass, origin to mass, and I think the origin of this one is already set. So if you select, if they have their own separate origin and you put individual origins here, you can scale all of them separately in their local space. We can actually start, arranging each of these objects G, Z, or rotate, and try to give it a random rotation and position. But obviously that's going to take some time. So what I will just do is kind of use another physics setting. So I'm just gonna grab these three and move them up like this, and then I'm going to select one of these, go to physics properties and click on rigid body. So now if you play your animation, this Akara is going to fall down. Okay, so do this for these three. Now hide the plane, add a new plane, scale it so that when these guys are actually falling down, they can fall on the plane. But right now they are actually going through the plane, but we want them to stop or to kind of fall on the plane. So what I'll do is select the plane, rigid body, passive, and if I play this now, they are not going to penetrate. So this is going to give us some kind of like a random rotation and position. So I'll just put these three like that, and if you are not sure, you can, I'm just pressing 1, 3 and 7 to change the view that I'm currently in. So remember how we can actually duplicate an object, shift D, but this time around we are going to press alt D instead of shift D. Reason being that if we press shift D, the object is going to be completely a new object on its own. But if we press alt D, watch what happens. So if I press shift D now, if I duplicate this and I go to edit mode, I can, you know, edit this without affecting the other one. Okay, if I undo this and press alt D, if I edit this, it's going to affect the other one. So alt D, they are going to be linked. Okay, So I'll select the plane and press Alt D so that I glue the three at a time. I think I'll just pause it right there and select all of them. When you select all of them, press F3 and search visual transform. Actually, the position of each object will be applied. So the position of each object has been applied, and now you can kind of quickly remove the rigid body, because if you don't remove it and you play your animation, they are still gonna keep doing some stuff. So I'm not sure I delete rigid body for the last one of these. So if I play the animation now, nothing is going to happen. So we can start grabbing. So the plane, we can delete this plane now, then unhide the paper. If you try to add, rigid body on the paper, you can try it yourself and see what happens, and tell me in the comments what actually happens, what you discover. So it's better that way. You learn through practice. So just gonna kind of try to arrange all of these, and that will be all for this tutorial.